Croeso, siamai, hello and welcome to the Bluebirds Nest, Neath ar adair gleision, which is sponsored by DragonBet. Now, DragonBet are soon to be launching their brand new Welsh and particularly the JD Cymru League's betting opportunities on their app. So please take a look at their social media, give them a follow and wait for the imminent launch of their betting app here in Wales. Delighted to have here Henry Jones, H, as he's known as, inside the dressing room. Off the back of match day 1 this weekend, was the man who delivered a fantastic cross into the box for Jordan there at the back post to head away, giving us all 3 points. H, welcome along.
Thank you.
We'll get stuck in then. So we've just discussed prior to going live here how long ago it's been to get a successive batch of 90s under your belt. It was a tough one on the weekend with the sun as well, but that must have felt pretty good.
Yeah, unreal, to be fair. I haven't played 90 for a while. Like, obviously, I was injured for most of last season, and then I had a little niggle in pre-season as well. So I only played like an hour, which is not ideal going into the first game of the season, but we had to do what we had to do and managed to get through 90. Yeah, it was quite hot, wasn't
it? Yeah.
But yeah, I think we dominated the game, to be fair. I think it would have been a disaster if we didn't win that game. We dominated the ball and had all the chances, really. So I was just glad that Jordan could get the goal to win the game.
Let's go back a bit then, before the most recent times and last season in particular. Let's go back to the very beginning, because it's a fascinating story and journey you've been on. Let's take us back to starting at the Swans when you were 8, I believe.
I started playing when I was about 6, just like local. I'm from Aberdeen in West Wales, so I started playing for Aberdeen when I was really young. But I was playing like up the age group sort of thing, and then I can't remember that much about it. But at 7, I did a trial, and then they signed me then at 8, and then I was there from 8 till 22.
Wow!
So I was there from 8 till 16. From like 8 to under 16s, and then I signed a 2-year scholar from 16 to 18, and then I signed a pro then, and then I was on a pro then from 18 to 22. So yeah, that's how that happened. All I really knew was Swansea at that point.
Yeah, I can imagine. So Aberdeen to Swansea, that's a huge commitment. How many days a week was that?
Yeah, that's my dad, to be fair. He reminds me of that now and again. Twice a week, I think it was. I think we were training twice a week and then playing, but we were playing far. We were playing like Bournemouth and Plymouth, and like it is a massive commitment, especially for parents. You don't realize, like, as a player, as a kid, when you're 8 or 9, you don't understand really. But like me looking at it now, as a parent, it's a huge commitment.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, kudos to your dad for doing the taxi and back and forth, because that's some journey. That's about 2.5 hours probably.
Yeah, it's about, I think it's like, well, it's like an hour and a half, but in the night, after work and that, and then you're getting back late, and then
yeah,
it's huge, and it's even more now. I think the kids now are 8 and 9. They're training like 4 times a week. But wow. I don't know if they live there. But yeah, it's a massive commitment, but it also brings a lot of pressure as well. You know what I mean? If you're as a kid and you're coming through, and your parents are taking you every week, through the age groups, like you also feel a bit of pressure as well, because you want to give something back.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so you mentioned at 22 then. What was the sort of scenario that led to your exit?
Well, they were in the Premier League at the time. The timing weren't the best, to be fair. I think I had like Gylfi Sigurdsson and Andre Ayew playing in my position. So, but at the time, I was like, I thought I could play. Do you know what I mean? That's how you feel at that stage. You don't think like, oh, because you're there and you're training with them every day and stuff. You just see them as like another player. So you don't really see them as like, now I look back and I'm thinking, well, it was hard to get in that team. But at the time, I was thinking, like, maybe I thought I was closer than maybe what I was.
Yeah.
So I was a first year pro, obviously, and I was playing in the 23s then. From 18 to 22. I started training with the first team when I was about 17 with Brendan Rodgers, and then I signed a pro with him. So he signed me on a pro, and in that summer he went to Liverpool. So when I come back on my first year pro, I was with Michael Laudrup come in. So I was like with a manager that had never seen me play, and I didn't know who he was. So it was difficult to start with. So yeah, that was difficult. And then you're trying to prove yourself in front of a new manager who's not signed you, and they're in the Premier League and they're signing players for like 20 million. It's difficult. Like I tried to go out on loan, which is the best way to do it, like to go out on loan to prove yourself, but couldn't get out. People don't see like the politics side of it. So like the chairman wouldn't let me go out at the time because there was loads of excuses, but one of them was that they wanted the 23 team to win the 23s league. So they wanted to keep all the players in house, which is fair enough, but it doesn't help me, doesn't help my development. So there was loads of things like that. And then in the end I got to like 22 and I had to leave at that point.
Yeah. Okay. And that took you up north then to begin with then?
Yeah, so I went to a few different clubs, like trying to stay in the full-time system. I ended up going to Bangor, played there for a season. It was a bit of a random one, to be fair. Never really heard of them. My agent just texted me and said that they wanna have a go and they wanna like have a look at you or whatever. So I went up there and it was like the best season of my life. Like I loved it there. It was unreal. The owners there were amazing. The fans were amazing. We had the owners were a bit mad. Like we had 4 managers in 8 months.
Wow.
But they all Leggy was one of them, Ian Dowes, Gary Taylor Fletcher, but they all wanted to play the way I wanted to play. And yeah, it was amazing. Everything that I touched that season like just turned to gold, really. I was like one of them. It was like a one-off season where like I think, everything that I touched went well. So we got into Europe that season. I think they finished 10th the year before, and then that season, and obviously they signed loads of players, rejigged the team a little bit, and then we got into Europe then. But then I left that summer to go to Fylde in the conference because it was full time. They were like pushing to get into the football league. It was a step up, so I felt like it was right to go. Yeah. So I went there. It started really well. I think I scored 5 in the first 6 there. And then I done my knee, had to have a knee op. So I was out for 3 months, I think, in the middle of the season. And then come back at the end of the season. Went to agree a new contract there, but there was an agreement in place before I signed there. And then they didn't stick to the agreement. They wanted me to sign on a different deal. And I obviously was saying no. So I just said so I just wanted to leave because I wasn't really happy playing there anyway. I don't know, I just didn't really feel like I was enjoying my football on the pitch like I was in my previous club. I could have stayed there, but I chose not to. And then I went back to the Welsh Prem then with Bala, with Carl. And I had 3 great seasons there,
Yeah, no, and obviously that's well documented, your time at Bala, and obviously they've been through a successful European trip, I would say. A hell of an experience. It was a tough task with Sligo, but I believe you had a European trip with them.
Yeah, we qualified for Europe twice at the 3 years I was there, but obviously I left on the last year, so I didn't play in the European game. But we played the middle season. We played Standard Liège in Belgium.
Yeah,
and that was unbelievable. They're a huge team. They have like a 50,000-60,000 seat stadium. They're a big team. They're full of internationals and stuff. And we were right up against them. To be fair, they were really good. We lost 2-0 on the night, but it was just a really good experience. Bala's a club that like it's a very like tight knit family club. Like the owner there, Nigel, is like an unbelievable guy. He put like it's his heart and soul. Like he puts his heart and soul into Bala, and like to see he was walking around the stadium just like looking around, and like to see his face and to take it, like I was watching him taking it in, and just to see like how happy it made him feel, it was unreal.
Yeah, no, that's obviously some experience for you and the club there doing that. To be walking out and playing in a setting like that, it probably puts the Cymru Premier stadiums to shame a little bit.
A little bit,
yeah. Okay, so obviously you had your Welsh Sea opportunity as well whilst at Bala. Mm-hmm. How did you find that?
Yeah, it was a good experience, to be fair. I played for Wales previously at the sort of the youth age groups, like 18s, 19s, 21s, but to play at that, it's a bit of a different setup, isn't it? So you got like you play for the English team is like an under-23 team, and then your team is like a full fully aged team. Yeah, it was a really good experience. We played at Salford, which is a really nice ground, and yeah, it was a good experience, to be fair.
Was that at the ground where they are currently, their newer ground or their old one?
No, that's at the new ground.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a really good ground. But I think they were like half building it when we played. So
Okay.
like there was the change rooms and stuff. They were like still half built.
Yeah.
But like looking at it now, I think it's fully done, and like it's like a League One champ ground now.
It's
Yeah,
decent.
we played there I think like 2 years ago or something, and it was really good then. But it's a good experience playing with like other players from the league because we play each other that much in this league. Like you can play the same team 4 times. You play against players. I feel like I know them and I've never met them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You
Yeah.
feel like I can have a conversation with them, but I've never actually had a conversation with them. But when you go to into that team and you all get put together,
Yeah.
it's just good to like see what other people are like because they have their like conception of you. You know what I mean? They have an idea what you're going to be like, and then you have an idea what they're going to be like, and then sometimes they can be completely different.
Definitely. Yeah, Dylan mentioned that last week, to be fair. Obviously, he'd had his own Welsh Sea experience. You know, he's kicking lumps out of players 2, 3, maybe 4 times a season.
Yeah, I don't do that.
You know, he's probably kicking you at that time.
You're a tackle to do that.
You know, to be then brought into the same dressing room in such a small, you know, just a few days turnaround to develop that cohesive unit. It's almost like the British and Irish Lions sort of aspect. You know, it's your enemies, and the next minute you put gel together. And obviously this year they had a really successful camp, turning England over, which, you know, looking at the players, the caliber of players they had against them was a fantastic achievement. So things are progressing. You can see that, you know, in the Cymru Prem and the Cymru leagues as well. So Bala, European experience, Wales Sea experience, they all, you know, at that time, when you came on the radar with Haverfordwest County, you had quite a CV. You know, obviously we'd signed Jazz and things like that. So you were probably one of the next big marquee signings, for want of a better word. You know, that sort of a statement signing. I remember speaking to people saying, "Oh, you know, he's done this, he's done." It was a bit of buzz about you, you know. And you came in, you did really well the first few games, and I remember it fondly because it was my first game back working at the club, the Flint game in the first weekend in October 2021, when again not in attack, you just went over and sustained that injury then, which pretty much probably 80% of the season cut it short last year. Tell us about sort of your mindset throughout the season then, because obviously you must have been relatively excited to come back, probably more local to home for you, to then have that injury to go through again. Tell us how last season went for you.
Yeah, I was really excited to come because I think there's loads of really good clubs down south. I think it's very like North dominated this league because they have the players from Liverpool and stuff. And I think the finance up there generally is better than the south, so it's very like North dominated. But there's loads of good clubs down south. They just needed a bit of funding and needed someone to back them. So when I seen Haverfordwest, I was really, and I knew Wolves at the time, obviously, and I knew they were interested. I was really excited. I think I was ready to leave Bala because not that I don't know. I just felt like I needed a new challenge. Like the way, there's nothing against Cook the way that they play, by the way, but it's just not my style of play. Like I'm like a footballer. You know, like I like to get on the ball and get in between the lines, and they don't really play through the lines. They play long, which is fine. But I needed to, I don't know. I just felt like if I'd stayed there, I was not wasting my time, but football career is short, isn't it? It's like 10 years or whatever. So you need to be enjoying your football in that time. And like I needed to play somewhere where I was going to get on the ball and like maximize my potential and my enjoyment in the game. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to leave. And then when I heard that Rob was interested, I had a conversation with him, and he told me about the project and, you know, everything that he wants to do. And obviously it's really exciting, you know. They want to take the club into Europe and things like that and go full time and everything. And yeah, it just felt right. And then obviously the season started, and yeah, I started well, like the first four or 5 games, and then obviously my knee went. I'd had that injury previously. I had it filed, so I'd had that operation once before already, the meniscus op, and then yeah, I was ruled out for like 3 or 4 months. really like disappointing, really, because I knew Rob and the club had invested a lot of time and effort into getting me here, and like you just want to repay that faith, really, and when you're injured, you can't do that.
Yeah, and you could see, your frustrations. You'd come to every game, to be fair, and training sessions. You'd be in and around. I often saw you speaking to younger players. I thought that was well noted by staff as well. The youngsters in similar positions, or similar sort of experiences on the park. You going over and speaking to them. I think that speaks volumes about your mentality and love of the game as well. But also, I remember you came back and just, well, I'll mention good points and bad points from the spring year, because you came on for Pennabont's game. I think that was your first game back, was it? I am right.
Yeah. We drew 2-2.
2-2. You came on. Well, I think it's literally documented in the documentary. You came on and obviously you set Jazz up, who then set Torre Cisse up to find the equaliser. That was your first game back. The following game then was obviously Aber. Where things didn't go as well at that visit to Aberystwyth, where you got sent off after, I think we worked it out as about 88 seconds on the pitch. Again, you could see that frustration. You wanted to come on and impact the game, and
it was more of because like obviously when you're a player and you come to a club as like sort of a marquee sort of signing, you feel like a pressure and a responsibility to do well. And because like that got taken away from me because I was injured, I felt guilt, because I felt guilty that I couldn't, you know what I mean, give what you just sat there in a stand for like 3 months and you're like, they're paying you and you're not doing anything. And I just felt a lot of guilt, and I felt like I needed to make up for lost time, really. So yeah, I did that in the first game, and then the second game, when I come on, they just scored, and my head was going before I even come on. And then when I did come on, the refs give a pen, but I'm complaining about, I'm not trying to justify myself here, by the way. I'm complaining about the foul beforehand, and I just got a bit heated with the ref. I still don't think it was a send-off. I think he could have booked me and I would have just gone away. But yeah, in this league, the refs do what they do, and that's what happened. And then I ended up getting suspended for 4 games again, which was an absolute disaster, to be honest. And then I was out again, and then obviously come back at the end of the season and made a decent impact, but like not enough.
No, I think when you came, the game you came back from that suspension was obviously Aber again.
Yeah, that's it. We won 6-1.
The game when we won 6-0, and that was, obviously you scored the 6th goal, and just seeing you, the 2 different journeys home was worlds apart. I don't think anybody spoke on that Tuesday or midweek game when we lost to the one we won. They were worlds apart. And you in particular, I saw as a sort of bystander watching, you were buzzing that night. You could see like, right, they've finally done something here, and I'm back almost. And I think you had a really good tail end of the season. So onwards and upwards, I think. And we'll come on to this coming season shortly. What I do want to pick up on, though, I mentioned to Dylan last week, he had a pretty high IQ as footballers go, and certainly in the changing room, I'd probably put him down as one of the most intelligent. But I'd probably put you in a similar category, to be fair. But perhaps not so much for the academic, but certainly in the business sector. And we've spoken about this extensively over the last year. But the pandemic obviously brought a new challenge to your life, which is numerous. Tell us all about it.
So basically, in lockdown, me and my best mate had a conversation. I've always been like wanting to do, like, football is not like the be all and end all for me. Like, I got a lot of like other passions outside of football and a lot of other interests. So I always knew I was going to do something else, just didn't know what it was at that point. And then, but when you're playing like part-time, you have a lot of time to think, because like obviously I made a transition from full-time to part-time, and then I had a lot of time to think about what I wanted to do. And I knew it wasn't going to be like, no disrespect, but it wasn't going to be like a 9 to 5, because it's just not what I want to do. It's just, I don't, do you know what I mean? I knew I wanted to do something a little bit different. So, in lockdown, I had a conversation with him. We spoke about about this trainer brand that we were going to do, because we were looking at sort of the prices of trainers, and a luxury trainer was like 300 quid. And we thought maybe we could do something that was as good but for cheaper type thing, and like sort of hit that market because no one really hit that market. So then we had a conversation and we just done it. It took us about a year to find a manufacturer that we wanted and get a sample together and get everything ready. But yeah, we found someone in Turkey and then just went from there really.
Yeah, and it's doing really well, to be fair. You know, it's I haven't invested in a pair myself yet, but I am with you. The cappuccinos or the frozen whites, I think I'm looking at. But new ones coming out all the time, and I'm like, yeah, those are the ones I'm going to go for. And so, how often are you releasing new ones, and how does that work?
Yeah, so we have two styles, but we chop the colors up. So basically, we started off with like a runner. So then we launched that in August. So we had the conversation the August before, and then we actually launched it the August after, just because it took so long to get like the sample ready. We had there was so many times where samples would come back, and we were looking at them, we were like, they're miles off. And then it was, it was like it was difficult then. But then we carried on going, and then eventually we did get there, and we got somewhere where we were close. And then so we started off with this runner. We did it in 3 colors, and then we launched another 3 colors around November, Black Friday. And then we were working on this new style all the time. And then we launched this new style then in just after Jan, I think it was. And it's gone down really well, to be fair. It took our audience up a level, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've had a lot of footballers and stuff wear them, and we're just trying to take it from one level to the next, really. I think there's a good market for it. It's a really good quality product, and we're selling it for a really good price. And I just think that we can really take it to wherever we want, really. You know what I mean? I think we're growing now. We moved manufacturer into Portugal. Our stock has trebled in size. We've just moved unit now, so we've got a warehouse and an office, and just taking on some employees and just trying to manage that growth, really. Because it's not easy, you know what I mean? We have overheads and a lot of things that we have to pay for, whereas at the start you're sort of you're just doing it and going along, and it's it's all great because you're just making the trainer, selling it, and then taking whatever. But now it's like a proper business. So now we're we've got to produce now. There's pressure every month to produce, but I can't complain. It's gone really well. James Madison's wearing them, Gerard's been wearing them. We've had really good people wearing them and supporting them, and also we've had mad support from our friends and stuff, and you know what I mean, our family, because they're the people that you need. When you need people sharing your posts and getting the posts out there and helping you build it, because without them people, you're no one. You literally, you ain't gonna get anywhere. But yeah, the product helps. The product is, if you haven't got a good product, then you're not gonna get anywhere anyway. We do, I do more of the marketing and the content side, and my mate does the more finance figure side. He's more academic than me.
No, well, like I said, it takes a lot particularly in a pandemic, to have an idea and take it to market and do as well as you say. I see particularly on the Instagram stories, the type of person who's wearing them, and you've got some big names repping the brand, more so none other than the chairman, Mr. Robert Edwards, as well. I believe he's got a pair.
Yeah, I know, he bought a pair. I didn't even realize that he'd bought them, and Andy texted me and said, I swear Rob just bought them. On Shopify, and it was him.
But there's potential collaboration with the club, I believe, some sort of affiliation in the pipeline. So that's an exciting one potentially to be launched across the social medias in the future. No, that's excellent. So where can people get involved and take a look at the products?
Well, we market them on social media, so Instagram, Facebook, and then we sell through our website online. So it's numerousfootwear.com. And so all sales are online. We're completely e-commerce. We're not in any shops. So yeah, if you go on the Instagram at numerous _, and then you can see all the products on there, and then you can go from the website from there.
Fantastic. Those watching along on the Vodcast can obviously see the QR code on screen. Please feel free to scan that and it'll take you through. And like Henry's just outlined there, those listening on the podcast, please feel free to take a look at the social media profiles. Okay, excellent. I think I've grilled you enough there with some general questions about you. We're now going to do the off the bar quick fire questions. I tweak these every episode, but the majority are the same to give everyone a better understanding of the club's staff, players, coaches, etc. So kicking off then, your favourite TV programme?
Only Fools and Horses.
Nice, good choice. Film?
Wolf of Wall Street.
Good. I think, did Rob say that? No, Rob went Shawshank. Somebody said that, but that's a great show. Great film, that is.
Yeah.
Favourite band?
I don't do bands, to be honest. I like rap, so I like Drake and Lil Baby.
Okay. Fair enough. Slightly different to the previous episodes.
Yeah, I know. Probably doesn't know who Lil Baby is.
No, he probably wouldn't know. Favorite drink, alcoholic and a non-alcoholic drinks?
Non-alcoholic, probably coffee, because I can't really live without that.
Yeah.
And then alcoholic, maybe like Madry. That's
good choice.
That's decent.
Mate, to be fair, the clubhouse at Haverfordwest, I'm plugging Kevin and the staff there.
Yeah.
It used to be Carlin, I think, for years and years and years. There's Madry on tap now, and honestly, it is a great pint at the clubhouse at the moment.
Unreal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's come a long way, to be fair. What's next on the bucket list with you?
I don't really have a bucket list, to be honest. I don't know. It's just not something that I do. One thing I want to do is watch Messi live before he retires.
Okay.
Does that count as a bucket list thing?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, why not? It's something you want to do. Yeah. What? So, is that? Do you think he'll be in PSG? He'll finish, or do you think he'll go elsewhere?
Yeah, I think so. I think well, I don't know. He may finish in America. So I'm probably gonna have to watch him in Paris before he goes, because I think he's the best sportsman ever.
Nice. You've answered a question later on now. Then.
Yeah, no.
Early bird or night owl?
Night owl all day long. I'm no good in the morning at all. Terrible.
Holiday destination, your favourite one you've been to?
Dubai, probably.
Yeah. Good choice. That's probably one of my bucket list ones. I'm yet to go there.
Don't go there in August.
Oh, okay. Well,
too warm.
Chill for the autumn now with the World Cup.
Yeah.
Check with the wife. What apart from football, what other sports do you enjoy either watching or playing?
To watch tennis, and then to play pool.
Oh yeah, a bit of a pool shark. Okay.
Yeah, snooker as well. I like snooker, but snooker's just so hard. So yeah, pool.
Interesting. We'll have to have a club in-house tournament or something.
Are you good? You?
I can't say I am. There's a few boys who claim to be, and Pems was either world champion or certainly European champion or something like that. Yeah, no, Sean Pems.
Yeah, world champion.
I'm pretty sure he certainly had a major accolade in it at a young age. Yeah, that's I'll have to look into that one for you, and I think he'd be up for a challenge. School subject now, favourite and least favourite. I know what's coming here. Go on.
PE was obviously school wasn't really my thing, to be honest. I didn't really like school. I like school. I like being around my mates and that, but I just didn't like the lessons and that. My concentration is not the best. My favorite one was PE, obviously, and then my worst one was cooking.
And why is that? No good?
Just terrible. Just no good. I need someone to cook for me all the time.
I wasn't going to say, but I got to. We started the call a couple of minutes late because somebody was late because when they were cooking their food, they forgot to turn the oven on. Understandably picking home economics, food tech as least favourite.
Yeah, not my thing.
Dead or alive, who would you like to have a sit-down meal with?
I'm going to say Kanye West because I think he's like a genius. He's not all there, but I just think he's just someone that's so different. And he obviously created Yeezy brand and made it what it is. And I just think he's a genius. So I'll probably take some things off him if I spoke to him for an hour.
Nice. Yeah, I can see the link up there. Fair enough. What winds you up? What's the frustration? What is the number one? There's probably many.
Yeah, there's loads with me. On the pitch, refs all day long. Yeah, refs, because you can't speak to them. As soon as you speak to them, they send you off. You can't say anything to them, and they can just do what they want. So yeah, refs.
Big shout out to all the JD Cymru League's refs. Nothing.
I get on with most of them. To be fair, just sometimes they do stupid things.
Brilliant. Your first football kit, and what was the name on the back of the shirt?
This is a bit of a weird one. It was actually Coventry, and it had Jones 4 on the back because my uncle supports Coventry, and he bought it for me when he was young, when I was younger, and he made me wear it to school, and I got hammered.
Oh wow! Because you're saying it, it was. I think it was back in the day. Corby Jones, was it? Coventry?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I thought it was because it was my own surname on it, but yeah, I got hammered because they were in like the Champ, and then everyone was wearing like United and Arsenal shirts, and I got a Coventry shirt on.
Nice. You probably have answered this one. The greatest ever footballer in your opinion?
Messi by a country mile. I just think he's unbelievable. Like, he's just born to play football. Ronaldo is obviously unreal, but he's more of a, don't know, he's just been built in a lab sort of thing. Messi is just like, looks like he's, it's just a gift from God, isn't he?
Yeah, they're both specimens. They're both unbelievable athletes, to be fair. But as a Man City fan myself, I'd be going Messi all day long.
Yeah.
Okay, then more so on your personal football level now. Then pre-match rituals.
This is like superstition.
Yeah, things you always do before games.
Yeah, I used to be outrageous with this. I used to have like 7.
Wow.
I don't know, just really superstitious person. Like, it was bad at one point. I was just doing mad stuff. But now, don't think I got that many. I put everything goes on my left foot. I'm right-footed, so everything goes on my left foot before my right. But I stand on a pitch with my right first before my left.
Okay.
And touch the floor with my right hand before anything else.
Okay, I'll have to keep an eye out for that one. Right.
Yeah.
What were some of the traditions?
And then I look at 4 corner flags before the game, just before we kick off. You probably never realize that.
I must say, but I'm going to be looking out for it now. The next game.
I had one. The season I was at Bangor, and I scored like 19 goals or something. Before one game, the night before, I had a glass of wine, and I scored 2 the next day. So I carried on doing it. I did it for the whole season. So yeah, that was one. Not a lot, literally just a glass with food. But I'm just one of them. If I do something like that and I do well, I'm like, I think it's that. It's nothing to do with it, but that's just how I thought. How I thought at that point.
Tony be doing alcohol tests and you coming in on a Saturday morning now. Love it. Okay, I'll be watching now, mind, looking in the corner flags and getting on the pitch. I will be keeping an eye out.
Yeah.
Who is, again, in your own opinion, best trainer in the squad?
I wouldn't say Lewis Brass. He's only not been there that long, but when I see him and stuff, he just looks like a proper machine. I just think he's a really good, he's very professional. I just think he's a really good trainer, to be fair.
Fair play. Rare that you'd see a goalkeeper getting picked for that, I suppose.
Yeah, they normally just mess about, don't they? But he looks like he actually does some training.
Okay, interesting. No, and a different type of trainer, and clothing wise and trendy and things like that. Who's the best dressed in the dressing room?
Definitely not Jack Wilson.
Yeah, here.
Outrageous. I don't know. You don't really see them in their own clothes, really, so it's difficult to say. But I'll say Jazz just to make his night.
Brilliant. All right, and you've answered this one probably then. Who is in need of a pair of your trainers?
All of them.
Nice. Well played. Good answer. So, experienced Welsh League campaigner. You're probably not far off playing off every ground there is in the Cymru Prem and of all the teams over the last few years. Have you got a favourite, apart obviously from the Oggy Bridge Meadow? Have you got a favourite to play at?
Bangor was my favourite to play at. Have you been there?
Yeah. To both.
It's a really good ground. That it's got like everything. It's got like the stands, the actual pitch. Because I like playing on grass pitch.
Yeah.
A lot of the grounds in the league now are 3G, which is fair, but I don't know. There's nothing. If you have a really good grass pitch, like you can't beat it. So yeah, that's a really good ground. Newtown's quite a good ground as well. Like it's set up well, isn't it? You know what I mean? So yeah.
It's fascinating. That's the hat trick for the Newtown. In all 3 episodes we've done so far, Newtown, Latham Park's come up. Yeah. But no, Bangor's an interesting one. I remember we went up there 2015-16 and there was huge traffic delays. So we didn't really have a chance. It was literally in the changing room and straight out.
Oh, yeah.
Nant Porth, am I right in saying that?
Yeah. Don't know if they... Nah, I think that was the last one.
Oh, okay.
This one, what was it called? I think it was called like the University of Bangor Stadium or something.
I do remember it. No, it was a good one. But I remember years ago going to Farrer Road, the old Bangor ground.
Oh, yeah.
Which was by the old uni, and I think smack bang in the middle of town centre. I remember going there, and it was a cracking atmosphere. It's back when they were winning leagues and cups and things.
They get really good fans there as well. That's like part of it as well. When you go there, you feel like you're in a proper game.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, last 2 now then. Your favourite moment over the last 12 months since being at the club?
I think beating Barry last season late on, because obviously that secured our status and stuff, and they're a good team, and there was a lot of pressure on that game. Obviously, Nicky come in and we did really well, and then we tailed off and we got dragged back into it a little bit. So like the pressure was on, and we had to win that game, and it was just a lot on it. And I think we won 2-0, didn't we? Yeah, we did.
The relief more than anything.
Yeah, more of a relief. Yeah, more of a relief. It's not the greatest one. Like I'm hoping there'll be better ones from my time at the club. I think the club's going in a different direction now. I think we should be looking more towards Europe than that, and I think maybe that would be my next.
Awesome. Look forward to that. Final question then. The dream team now, and it like I've said, this doesn't have to be the 5 best players, just 5 players you would pick for various reasons. Who you've played with either last season or this season at Haverfordwest County.
Last season as well, is it?
Yeah, any player you've played with, or one of the coaching staff in. Why not?
All right, Woolsey, left back. No, I'd have Lewis in goal. I'd have Jazz on his own at the back, and then I'd have Jordan and Kieran in midfield, and then I'd have Willie up front, just because I give him a lot of stick all the time, and he'll be surprised I put him in that.
Brilliant. You mean well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, thank you for that. Now comes to the part where, which is specifically sponsored by DragonBet. Like I said, please give them a follow across their social media on the different platforms. There is a big launch incoming with the guys at DragonBet. They're going to give you some real opportunities in the betting market on JD Cymru leagues and a lot of grassroots football here in Wales. But from a club perspective, please gamble away, please gamble responsibly. So last week was the first member, the new club membership scheme. The first member, D. Lutus, was the guest to provide his predictions. He actually got 3 out of the 6 games of match day 1 correct, scoring a point each for those 3 fixtures. No correct scores were selected. So D is currently top of the league on 3 points. Myself in second with 2 points. And Rob, chairman, Mr. Rob Edwards, only had 1 result correct. Coming on to this week, match day 2. Again, another member has been invited to give the predictions. This time, Sarah Thomas from Milford. And she's predicted Connors Quay Nomads, Abus. So 3-0 to the Nomads. Newtown versus Flint, again another Friday night one, 3-0. Aber Cardiff Met, 2-2 draw. Bala Haverfordwest, 2-2 draw. Caernarfon Pontypridd, 1-1. The New Saints Penabont, 2-2. So interesting, Henry. I'm not allowed to ask you your opinion on those, but what it has outlined is that your old club Bala are our next fixture. So obviously, they've had a very successful period now with your friend Colin in charge there. You must have been watching from afar, particularly over their European adventure recently. What's your thoughts on the club? How have they been doing with things like Dave Edwards arriving?
Yeah, they signed really good players, haven't they? They always sign decent players, good experience and stuff. Yeah, they did well in Europe. I watched a bit of the game, and to be fair, they did batter Sligo. And they should have probably got something out of that game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they're going to be a tough test for us. They're very physical. As long as if we go up there and we play the way we can play and keep the ball, then it doesn't really matter how physical they want to be. But yeah, they're a good team and a good club, really.
Are you still in contact with any of them at all?
Yeah, I speak to Colin more now probably than I spoke to him when
How did you get his own documentary opportunity recently?
Yeah, I know. I rang him about that and I said the Bala documentary is literally the Colin Caton show. But yeah, you know, he fancies himself as a bit of an actor anyway.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, no, I speak to him now and again. Yeah, I was at the club a long time and like he's a good guy. So yeah, we do keep in touch and I speak to some of the players. I speak to Venners. I was in Castle with Venners, so I keep in touch with some of them.
Yeah, excellent. That should be an exciting affair this weekend then as we head up to Bala, Maes Tegid on Saturday afternoon for those that are travelling up from Pembrokeshire with us. The next home fixture is against Abus UK Broughton, who were promoted from the Cymru North last season. And that's a week Saturday the 27th at the Oggy Bridge Meadow. And that pretty much brings us to a close. Henry, thank you for your time. Really appreciate it. Again, open and honest to give everybody an insight to your background and your journey through football. And we look forward to seeing you with more assists, please, on the 27th at home to Abus.
Yeah, top man. Thank you, Ray.